That's some crazy flippity shit right there. Oh, I might have just flung snot everywhere. That's not great. Here on Friday, January the 30th, I left the store this morning. I didn't buy any snacks. And it's too fucking cold. I am not going in for overtime. This another week, I am not. No, it's going to be in like the single digits. I think the high today is only supposed to be like 20. No, so no. No, I'm not doing it. No, I'm not doing it. I mean, maybe if I drove, but I don't. So I don't want to be walking out in this shit. But yes, I left the store this morning, and I'm realizing snacks would have been important. I thought about ordering some, because the driveway and the parking lot and everything is fairly cleared off. But as you can see, if I can show you out here, where's my hole? Where's my hole? Around the cars is still very snowy, and I don't want to make somebody walk through all of that. So I shan't. I might. I think I might have got some bad gravy today. I mean, if you want too much information time, I like shit 4 times. 4 times. Though the last time was more like a long wet fart. That was it. But, not highly effective. But, I noticed the gravy was like, I got some biscuit. I ended up working dairy last night. And I worked dairy last night. I just said that. And in dairy, they have this little biscuits and gravy thing, and I'm like, oh, biscuits and gravy, that sounds good. But as I was pouring the gravy out, it was kind of watery, and I don't know if it was supposed to be watery. So, I mean, what's been coming out of me is fairly watery. So I guess it tracks. I don't know. But anyway, now that you really want to talk about food, I did find some of these snacks I had in here from, what is that? I bought these in Excelsior. These are pretty good. I bought 2 bags of these, but because they're, there it is. Because it was a surplus place, they're already, like, kind of out of date, but, and I do have some candy in here that might be okay for snacks, and then I've got, like, some stuff over here, maybe, Stromboli, I don't know, some turtle chips, with like churros, and a gingerbread Twix. I just found that I still had one of those. So, I guess I do have some options. Should I? And I mean, I still have my pile over here next to me, of course. Have different little things, but should I need them. Now that I'm not looking down so much, hopefully I won't be sniffly. Because, it's already cold. And like I said, I worked dairy last night, so even colder. But 2 days this week didn't really suck. And then the next 2 days after that really sucked. The second day didn't suck as much, but still fairly bad. Because the first 2 nights, we had the snow, so for 2 nights in a row, we ended up not having a truck, or barely a little truck. I think what truck that they got, they like unloaded during the day, or they ran it during the day, or something. So we didn't really have a whole lot to do on overnights. So the first 2 days, pretty mellow, boring, you might say, I guess. But then the 3rd and 4th night, it caught up with us. Not having trucks for 2 days definitely caught up with us. Oh my god. That first night, I was in HBA, and there was like 2 tall, unwrapped pallets just waiting to be sussed out, and that was a day that ended up staying half an hour late to finish up. It was about half an hour late when I was clocking out. I can't remember, but then I had to pick up more Eliquis anyway, so my prescription was ready. So it's like, I'll just stay until 8 o'clock, and then Heather goes home at 8 o'clock. Though she clocked at like 8:15, I think. So I just got a ride home with her, you know. It's like, oh, went and got my drugs. So even though still got plenty, but I guess it's a little off because I've been kind of forgetting to take my drugs every once in a while. So I might only be taking it once a day instead of twice. Like I don't know. I don't know if I'm still supposed to be taking it. I don't know. But like I said, I mean, as long as I can still only have to pay $10 for it, I guess. It's a small price to pay to make sure the blood clots don't come back. That would be lovely. Because yeah, honestly, there's a part of me that's kind of scared to not take it anymore. I guess it's a whole other topic. But yeah, so it was a kind of a not sucky week, and then kind of a really sucky week. But survived. It's the end of it again. And here I am on my weekend. So took a little nappy nap this morning. I was just kind of ready to lay down and play some games. You know, when I got home this morning, just kind of rest, decompress, I guess, you know, from the week, just be like, oh, it's over. And of course it's cold, so Mom's not going to be down this weekend either. But I wonder if it was showing us like a wintry mix next Tuesday, I think. But yeah, today the high is 23 and the low is 2, so I am not walking to work in 2-degree weather. No thank you. And Saturday is 23, high of 23 and a low of 13. So, lovely. Okay, I don't see any rain or sleet, snowy mix, anything next Tuesday. Though, you know, they have a week to change their mind. Put it in, take it out, put it in, take it out, put it in, take it out, you know. If you know what I mean. The weather. They guess. as much as possible. But, yeah, so that's been the week. That's been about it. The week. Working. I can't think of anything important that happened other than that. So I guess I could just answer your question for the week, see what it is. What's your favorite thing about yourself, and what's your least favorite? My favorite thing about me is that I'm perfect. And my least favorite thing about me is that everyone's jealous of everything I am and everything I will always be. Right? Okay, so, serious question, or serious answer, I guess. My favorite thing about myself, I mean, I guess, my humor, I like my humor, I'm not always goofy, like, sometimes I'm, you know, less goofy, or I just don't feel quite in the mood for it, or whatever. At work, I have to act like a complete and utter fucking idiot, because I don't want to be there. I'm bored. I'm, you know, like, I don't want to be an adult. I don't want to be at work. So, if I act like a total idiot, that helps entertain myself, and luckily everyone else. They seem to think I'm funny, I guess. I worry some people I annoy them. So sometimes, so that kind of leads me to like not interact with them very much, because I just worry about, you know, like, oh, I'm probably annoying them or whatever, so I just kind of just don't. But then there was one person that, you know, like I went to work with them the other day, and they were like, sweet, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess you do like me, that's fine. I wasn't sure, I just thought I kind of annoyed, I don't know, but, so, I mean, I guess, you know, I guess I was trying to think of how to put it into words, like, I like me, I like me, you know, I don't want to be anybody else. you know, like you talk about like if after you die, maybe you, which hopefully won't be for a while. I mean, had a test run about a month or about a week, about a year and a half ago, but you know, didn't stick, didn't take. Um, like if you're resurrected or like, but I kind of hope that that's not the case, because I like me, I like who I am, you know, like I don't want to be anybody else. I enjoy me, I enjoy myself, you know. So I like me. I mean, I don't, it's, you know, I feel weird like complimenting myself, but you know, I'm usually ready to, you know, crack a joke at me. But, I mean, you know, at the end of the day, you know, I like me. I do. I mean, it took me a little while to get here, you know, but now I'm just kind of like, yeah, I'm pretty neat, I guess. Um, and what's one thing that and what I like least, what's my favorite thing about myself, and what's my least favorite thing about myself. Um, I don't know. Uh, I could stand to lose a few pounds, I guess, because I shared this video with Mara Lee, and she said, you look so young in that video, because I had more hair, and, you know, I was a little bit skinnier back then, because it was 2011. 2011, so would I have been 31, I guess? I'm 45 now, so, I mean, you know, I mean, I wish I had more hair, but I mean, that's kind of been a thing since, you know, my mid-20s. You know, it started thinning out. You know, so I mean, I was watching a comedian the other day with something about, you know, how nobody likes their body, whatever. They're not happy with their body, you know. And I mean, I guess that's true for a lot of people, you know, like, I guess it could be in better shape, you know. Um, I guess I could also, like, take better care of myself in that way, too. That, you know, like, I could eat healthier, I could work out more, like, but that just sounds like, I don't know, I guess the eating healthier isn't really a big deal, but, like, going to work out, like, specifically, you know what I mean? Like, like, add extra hours of the day with, like, another responsibility, I'm just kind of like, eh, no thanks. You know, like, I mean, I guess you don't have to go to, like, a gym or anything. You could just do a little workout at home, whatever. So I could probably take care of my, you know, my physical health, sometimes my mental health a little bit, you know, because I can be a people pleaser. Like, I don't want people to be upset with me. So sometimes it's like, you know, I will put myself in positions where it's like, even if I don't even if I don't want to do something, I'll go ahead and do it anyway, just because it's like, you know, I have a hard time saying no a lot of times in certain cases, you know. And that actually led to one time when, like, I was kind of upset with Mom, and she could tell. I wasn't really upset with Mom. I was just kind of upset with the situation. When I first moved out of the house, I would be down here for a couple of days, and then this is when I lived over in 23. I live in 28 now, you know, and then I went and lived in the house for about 10 years or whatever. But it's like I was constantly getting pulled back to, you know, back to Hardin. And it's like, I didn't really, like, I was trying to find a job down here. I was trying to, you know, start my life down here. Like, I had my apartment. I just wanted to be in my apartment, you know. And you know, she came to pick me up to take me back to Hardin again. But I mean, I didn't have a job at the time, and people were trying to help me out. Like my uncle Mike was trying to help me out. My aunt Mala was trying to help me out by, you know, I would go back and I would do like, you know, I would do work, you know, yard work, whatever, and they would pay me, so I was getting, you know, money. But it's like I was trying to find a job down here, so I was like, and it's like I would only be here for like a couple days, and then it would be like, you know, back to Hardin to come, you know, to like go do the work, whatever, go, you know, help people and, you know, make money. But it wasn't like, you know, enough money to pay rent or anything. So, you know, Mom came down one time to pick me up, and she could tell I was not, you know, like happy, you know, because it was just another, you know, going back to Hardin kind of thing, you know. And it wasn't anything personal, it wasn't anything against her, it was just kind of, you know, like I was trying to, I guess, you know, live my own life kind of thing, whatever. I guess it's, you know, like I said, people were trying to help me out by giving me, you know, jobs to do to make money until I found a job, I guess. But then I would only be down here a couple days, and I didn't really have a chance to like look for a job, or, you know, or I mean, sometimes I would be lazy. It's kind of like, okay, I'm back at my apartment, so now I wouldn't really do anything. I wouldn't like, because I was trying to like pick up the paper, or, you know, I don't know that online ads were much of a thing back then, like Indeed or any of that kind of stuff. But so I wasn't very, you know, she was trying to talk to me, and I wasn't like really responsive or whatever, you know. And my sister was here too for some reason or whatever, because I remember going to a restaurant and I just kind of sat there and like didn't say a word, because she had stopped me in the street before we got to the restaurant, and she's like, "What's wrong? Just, you know, just tell me, whatever, blah 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 blah." And I just kind of blurted out, I was like, I hate being drugged back to Hardin all the time, you know. So it kind of welled up, and, you know, instead of just being honest about things, you know, I just let it build up until, like, that day, I guess I just wasn't in the mood to, you know, not hide my feelings, I guess, you know. And it was kind of the same way with, like, when I was in college, Mom would come and get me on the weekends, and, you know, I'd go back to Hardin. But that was fine at the time, because it's kind of like, you know, Robert even said something to me once. He's like, "You should stay down here some weekend." And I was like, why? Like, I wasn't a partier. I didn't do any of that kind of stuff. But now that I'm older and I like doing abso-fucking-lutely nothing, I could understand, you know, doing nothing all weekend long, and it would have been great. But I didn't, you know, take that chance to do it back then, or whatever. But part of going home over the weekend was Mom would tape the soap operas, like One Life to Live, General Hospital, and she would, or, you know, we would watch them together. And it got to be where I would take comic books home, or to, you know, back to Mom's house with me when I would go, and basically I would read comics while we were watching the soaps or whatever. But it's like I didn't want to, like I thought it was important to Mom, so I didn't want to, like, you know, hurt her feelings by saying I don't really want to watch them anymore, you know. But eventually she asked me if I was, you know, if I was even interested in, and it was actually like a relief for her when I said no, not really, because then she didn't have to, like, you know, tape them anymore or keep them all, because, you know, it was back in the day of you had to tape on a VCR, like you had to set the VCR up to tape, you know. There's no DVR, or at least we didn't have one at the time. You know, her Mom didn't have one at the time, you know, like to tape it for her. She had to, like, physically, like, set the VCR to tape it. So it ended up being a huge burden off of her shoulders. You know, so that's a couple of examples of, you know, sometimes I just, you know, even if I don't necessarily want to do something, I will go ahead and do it anyway, just because, you know, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, or, you know, I don't know. There's probably a whole case study you could do on me and my head, my brain, and my thoughts on all of that, I suppose. But, so I guess, you know, I could take better care of myself, physically and mentally, I suppose. Am I going to do it? Probably not. Probably should. I guess I've tried, especially after, you know, the incident, I was drinking like caffeine-free sodas, but then like all of the tests came back and they were like, everything looks good, you know. So I kind of went back to my old way, where it's like I just drink soda, you know. I've got my I just eat shit and drink shit, and sometimes I drink tea. That's okay, right? That's usually sweet tea. So it's not as good, but you know. So I was kind of trying there. Like I was getting you know, like light mayonnaise for my sandwiches. You know, trying to be a little healthier, maybe. You know. Oh, that's a spam risk. Should I answer it and just yell at them? Anyway, you know, so I guess there for a little bit I was trying. I wasn't exercising any extra, or, you know, like watching what I eat. That just sounds like such a fucking, you know, just such a burden. Just so much work that I don't want to do. You know, it's kind of like, I don't know, eat fish and rice, and maybe, I don't know, that's healthy, right? That's how the Asians do it, I guess. I don't know. I really don't know. If I ever got I know every time I go, they say my blood pressure's high, so they might want to put me on medication for that or whatever. But I mean, basically everyone I've talked to, like, you know, Mom and my Uncle Mike and everybody, they're like, everybody's blood pressure's high. Like, that's not really a shock or anything. I guess. But anyway, I suppose that would be that. Yes. Can you hear the bird? There's a chirpy bird out there. There was chirpy birds at 4 minutes. I didn't charge it all the way. But I had like an hour of taping time. And now, I haven't talked for an hour. I'm pretty sure I haven't. I hope I haven't. If I have, I apologize. I don't think so. But anyway, I guess before that gives out on me, because now it says 3 minutes. Thank you very much. I'm gonna enjoy my weekend. I got some noodles in the. Speaking of not eating very healthy, I've got some a cup of noodles in the microwave waiting for me. So I'm gonna get this uploaded and then go 2 minutes. Jesus Christ. Okay, fine. Hope you all have a good weekend and whatever. And I'll see you for when I see you.